Commander John Ellis stood on the bridge of the USS Defender, his eyes fixed on the blue planet below. Earth looked small and peaceful from here. The stars spread out all around, endless and quiet. His hand gripped the rail tightly as he thought about what was coming. "Commander, we have a message from the Empire ships," said Lieutenant Susan Moore. Her voice was steady, but Ellis saw worry in her eyes. "They want to enter Earth's orbit." Ellis nodded slowly. The day they had feared was here. For 70 years, the Galactic Empire had used Earth like a tool. They took Earth's metals and minerals, they stole human technology. They forced humans to fight in wars that weren't theirs. The Empire thought humans were weak and simple. That was about to change. 3 weeks ago, Earth's leaders had done something no one expected. They told the Empire that Earth was no longer theirs to control. Many people thought this would bring only death, but Ellis knew they had no choice. Freedom was worth the risk. "Put the message on the main screen," Ellis said, pulling down his uniform jacket. The screen lit up, showing the face of Admiral Kazk. His skin was rough and green with scales like a snake. His yellow eyes looked annoyed. "Commander Ellis," the alien said in a cold voice, "we need to use your space stations for fuel and repairs. 6 of our warships are coming to your system. Move your defense ships out of our way." Ellis felt his heart beat faster but kept his face calm. This was the moment they had planned for. "Admiral Kazk," he said, "I'm sending you Earth's new declaration. As of 3 weeks ago, Earth is no longer part of your empire. Your ships are not welcome in our space." The alien's face showed surprise, then something like a smile. "Commander, you must be joking. Your little planet cannot fight the Empire. We have taken over hundreds of worlds. Your people have barely reached your own moon." "That may be true," Ellis said calmly. "But our position is firm. No Empire ships can enter Earth space. If you try, we will see it as an act of war." The Admiral's face changed from amused to angry in seconds. "You dare to threaten the Imperial fleet? We will burn your planet to nothing." "Maybe," Ellis said, "but I suggest you look at the data I just sent you before you make that choice." The Admiral looked to the side, reading the information. Ellis watched as the alien's expression changed from anger to confusion, and then to something Ellis had never seen on an Empire face before: fear. This cannot be real," Kazak said, his voice shaking. "These readings must be wrong." "They are very real, Admiral," Ellis said. "While you saw Earth as just a simple mining colony, we were studying your technology. We made it better. We created our own. The defense system around our planet can destroy your entire fleet." "You're lying," Kazak hissed, but his voice wasn't so sure anymore. Ellis allowed himself a small smile. "Admiral, humans have been getting ready for today for 50 years. You never thought we were a threat. That's exactly why we can now demand our freedom. You have 48 hours to accept Earth's independence and remove all Empire ships and property from our system." Ellis cut off the message before the Admiral could answer. When he turned around, he saw his crew looking at him with mixed feelings of pride and fear. Next to him, Lieutenant Moore took a deep breath. "Sir, do you think they'll leave us alone?" Captain Rick Simmons moved closer. "They have 1,000 worlds. Surely they won't care about losing just one." Ellis shook his head. "The Empire doesn't work that way. They never let anyone go. If one planet breaks free, others might try the same," finished Lisa Daniels, the ship's science officer. "They can't allow that." Ellis looked at the main screen, now showing Earth again. From up here, their home looked so peaceful, so unaware of the danger coming its way. "Sir," asked John Peters, a young officer, "what happens if they don't back down? Their fleet is massive. Can we really stop them?" Ellis turned to face his crew. "For years, the Empire has taken what they wanted from Earth. They've treated us like children or pets. They've never seen us fight with everything we have." He walked to the center of the bridge, making sure everyone could hear him clearly. "They think they know humans, but they only know the face we've shown them. They've never seen our full strength, our real technology. We've hidden it all, waiting for this day." Ellis touched a control panel, bringing up a map of Earth's solar system. Small dots appeared all around the planets and moons. Defense stations hidden in the asteroid belt, he explained. Weapon platforms disguised as research satellites. Ships that look simple on the outside but carry power they can't imagine. The crew looked at the display with new understanding in their eyes. They believe we're primitive because that's what we wanted them to think, Ellis continued. While they watched us with arrogance, we studied them with purpose. Every weakness, every flaw in their ships, every gap in their defenses. Lieutenant Moore stood straighter. Will they test us, sir? Ellis nodded. They will. The Empire always tests those who resist, but they'll learn what they should have known all along. What's that, sir? Asked a young communications officer. Ellis looked back at Earth, so beautiful and seemingly fragile. That humans are most dangerous when cornered, that we never stop fighting for our freedom. And that underestimating Earth was the biggest mistake the Empire ever made. As the bridge crew returned to their posts, a new energy filled the air. Fear was still there, but now mixed with determination. Whatever came next, Earth would face it standing tall. Ellis stared out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, the Empire was preparing its response. The next few days would change humanity's future forever. Send word to all Earth defense stations, he ordered. Tell them to be ready. The storm is coming. The 48 hours passed, and the Empire gave no answer. Captain Alan Kelly sat in the main control room of Moonbase Armstrong, watching the radar screens. He wasn't surprised. The Empire had never taken humans seriously. That was their mistake. Captain, we have ships coming into our system, said Sergeant William Grant. His eyes didn't leave his screen. Looks like the Empire decided we were bluffing. Kelly nodded. How many ships? 12 big warships, sir. That's twice what they said before. Of course. Kelly wasn't shocked. He pressed a button to talk to everyone on the base. All workers to battle stations. This is not a drill. Start Defense Plan Omega. All across the solar system, hidden defense machines turned on. For many years, humans had been hiding what they could really do. They showed the Empire only simple tools while secretly studying and improving Empire technology. The defense system they built was different from anything the Empire had seen before, not because it was more advanced, but because it was made with human cleverness and surprise. Kelly called Earth Command. General Patricia White, the Empire ships have entered our system. 12 warships in attack position. Can we start first phase defense? The general's face appeared on the screen. She looked strong and ready. Yes, Captain. Show them what happens. When you corner humans, Kelly turned to his weapons officer. Lieutenant Nancy Baker, turn on the gravity disruptors. Baker's fingers moved quickly over her controls. Gravity disruptors on, sir, aiming at their faster-than-light drives. Across space, invisible waves of twisted space-time moved toward the coming fleet. The Empire's faster-than-light technology was very good, but Earth scientists had found a big problem with it years ago. It couldn't handle strange gravity fields. On the main screen, Kelly watched as the Empire ships suddenly slowed down. Their speed fields collapsed in unexpected ways. 3 ships lost control right away, spinning wildly as their engines fought against the gravity disruption. Sir, the Empire's main ship is calling us, Grant said. Put them on screen, Kelly ordered. Admiral Kisk's face appeared. His scales were dark with anger. What have you done to our ships? We don't know this technology. Kelly kept his face calm. We warned you not to enter Earth space, Admiral. This is just a small show of what we can do. We have disabled your speed drives, but your ships are still whole. Think of this as a warning. Go back to Empire space and accept Earth's freedom. We will not be scared by simple apes, Kazik yelled. All ships, use normal drives and keep going. Get all weapons ready. The call ended. Kelly turned to Baker. They're not stopping. Prepare the EMP weapons. Aim only at their weapon systems. Baker nodded. Targeting locked, sir. EMP weapons ready. Fire. From hidden spots in the asteroid belt, many small projectiles launched toward the Empire fleet. The Empire sensors barely noticed them. They had very little metal and moved using methods that Empire scanners weren't set to find. When the weapons exploded, they released electromagnetic pulses that were made specifically to overload Empire circuits. One by one, the huge warships went dark. Their weapon systems failed as the special EMPs damaged their targeting computers and power networks. "Sir," Grant reported with excitement he could barely hide, 11 of the 12 Empire ships have lost weapons ability. Their life support and engines seem to be working, but they can't attack. And the 12th? The main ship got shields up in time. They're damaged, but can still fight. Kelly nodded. "Open a channel to the main ship." Admiral Kuzak appeared on screen. Again. His bridge was now lit only by emergency lights. "What is this trick? We came in peace." "With 12 warships?" Kelly answered with doubt in his voice. "Admiral, you have one working warship against Earth's full defense network. We've stopped your fleet without destroying any ship or taking any life. Think about our mercy before you make your next choice." Kizik's eyes narrowed. "This isn't over, human. The Empire does not accept rebellion. And humanity doesn't accept being controlled," Kelly responded. "You have 1 hour to leave our system or we will have to take stronger steps." As the call ended, Kelly looked around at his crew. Pride shone in their eyes, but he knew this was just the beginning. The Empire wouldn't accept defeat so easily. Earth's show of strength had just made it a much more valuable target. "All stations, stay fully alert," he ordered. "Something tells me the Admiral isn't ready to give up yet." In the quiet hour that followed, Kelly walked around the control room checking each station. The Empire ships hadn't moved. They sat in space, emergency systems blinking, waiting. "Sir," Baker called out, "the main Empire ship is powering weapons." Kelly rushed back to the main screen. "They're going to attack even with just one ship? Show me." The screen zoomed in on the Empire flagship. Its side weapons glowed with energy. "They're not aiming at us," Grant said, sounding confused. "They're targeting their own disabled ships?" Kelly's eyes widened. "They're going to destroy their own fleet rather than let us capture it. Typical Empire thinking." He turned to Baker. "Can we stop them?" "We can try another EMP, but they've adapted their shields," she answered. Kelly thought quickly. This wasn't just about keeping Earth safe anymore. How they handled this moment would show the galaxy what kind of people humans were. "Launch the boarding pods," he ordered. The crew looked at him in shock. "Sir?" Grant asked. "You want to send our people onto their ships?" "The Empire would let those crews die to save face," Kelly said firmly. "We're not the Empire. Get our rescue teams ready. We're saving those aliens." From Lunar Base Armstrong, 20 small ships launched. Each carried a team of humans in spacesuits trained for emergency actions. They headed for the disabled Empire ships. "Sir, the main ship is firing," Baker shouted. On the screen, the Empire flagship fired at one of its own disabled ships. But before the energy beam hit, a small Earth ship moved between them. A blue shield appeared, absorbing the attack. "Shield technology?" Admiral Kazak's voice came through suddenly, filled with disbelief. "Impossible! You primitives cannot have shields." Kelly allowed himself a smile. "There's a lot you don't know about us, Admiral. While you were busy looking down on us, we were learning, building, and preparing." He paused. "Our teams are boarding your ships now, not to capture them, but to save your crews." There was silence for a long moment. "Why would you save them?" Kazak finally asked, true confusion in his voice. "Because that's who we are," Kelly answered simply. "We fight when we must, but we save lives when we can. Remember that when you tell your leaders about today." As the Earth rescue teams helped confused and frightened alien crews into escape pods, Kelly knew that word of this day would spread throughout the Empire. The story of how humans not only defeated an Empire attack, but then saved their enemies, would travel far, and maybe, just maybe, it would help others see that the Empire wasn't as all-powerful as they claimed to be. 3 days after the embarrassing retreat of the Imperial fleet, Dr. Lisa Clark stood in the United Earth Defense Council chamber, addressing the gathered military and political leaders. As Earth's leading xenobiologist and cultural expert on the Galactic Empire, Her insights were invaluable. "The Empire won't take this humiliation lightly," she explained, gesturing to the holographic display showing Imperial territory. "Their entire social structure is built on dominance and the appearance of invincibility. By forcing them to retreat, we've challenged the foundation of their authority." General White leaned forward. "What's your assessment of their likely response?" "Doctor?" "They'll return with overwhelming force," Lisa replied without hesitation. "But first, they'll attempt to save face by claiming our defense was some sort of trick or fluke. Expect propaganda throughout the galaxy portraying Earth as devious terrorists rather than freedom fighters." Commander Ellis frowned. "Our intelligence suggests they're already assembling a fleet 10 times the size of the first one. Our defenses are formidable, but against that kind of firepower..." The room fell silent as the implications hung in the air. Earth had won the first battle through surprise and innovation, but the Empire's resources were vast beyond imagining. "Perhaps," suggested Council President Richard Owens, "we should consider negotiation, partial independence with all..." "Due respect, Mr. President," interrupted Major Daniel Wright, head of Earth's Intelligence Division. "Negotiations would be perceived as weakness. The Empire doesn't compromise, it dominates or destroys." Lisa nodded in agreement. "The Major is correct. In Imperial culture, attempting to negotiate after showing strength would be seen as deception. They would agree to terms only to gain time to position their forces." "Then what do you suggest, Doctor?" asked the President. Lisa took a deep breath. "We need allies. The Empire rules through fear, but they're not universally loved. There are dozens of species who chafe under Imperial control, several with technology that rivals or exceeds our own." "You're suggesting we start a galactic rebellion?" Ellis asked incredulously. "I'm suggesting we join one that's already brewing," Lisa clarified, bringing up new data on the holographic display. "My contacts in the academic community have been tracking underground resistance movements across Imperial space for years. Many are waiting for a catalyst, a sign that the Empire can be challenged successfully. And we just provided that sign," General White said thoughtfully. "Exactly. The news of Earth's defiance is already spreading. We need to reach out to these resistance factions before the Empire returns." Major Wright looked skeptical. "How do we contact alien resistance groups we know almost nothing about?" Lisa smiled for the first time. "As it happens, there's an Imperial diplomatic vessel currently hiding in Jupiter's shadow. They've been broadcasting on frequencies the Empire doesn't monitor, frequencies used by resistance communications. Council members exchanged surprised glances. "You're certain they're not Imperial spies?" General White asked. "The ship is registered to the Nebulan Diplomatic Corps," Lisa explained. "The Nebulans were one of the first species conquered by the Empire centuries ago. They've maintained the appearance of loyal Imperial subjects while secretly working against Imperial interest for generations." President Owens stood up. "Dr. Clark, arrange contact with this vessel immediately. Commander Ellis, prepare a diplomatic team. If we're going to survive what's coming, we need friends out there." As the council session ended, Lisa found herself walking alongside Commander Ellis. "Do you think this will work?" he asked quietly. "Forming an alliance with alien resistance groups?" Lisa considered the question carefully. The Empire has ruled for millennia by keeping conquered species isolated and afraid. They've never faced a coordinated multi-species rebellion. It's our best hope." Ellis nodded grimly. "Let's hope it's enough." 2 days later, the USS Defender approached the Nebulan, vessel hidden in Jupiter's shadow. The alien ship was sleek and unassuming, designed to look like a standard Imperial diplomatic courier while concealing advanced technology. "They're hailing us," Lieutenant Moore reported. "On screen," Ellis ordered. The view screen flickered too, life revealing a tall, slender being with iridescent skin and large, compound eyes. The Nebulan diplomat bowed slightly. "Commander Ellis of Earth," the alien said in perfect English, "I am Ambassador Zell. Your recent stance against the Empire has created quite a stir throughout the galaxy. Many have waited a long time for this moment." Ellis exchanged glances with Dr. Clark before responding. "Ambassador, we're honored to meet you. Earth stands ready to join forces with others who seek freedom from Imperial rule." The ambassador's compound eyes shimmered. Then let us begin. The Empire is marshaling its forces as we speak, but they are not without vulnerabilities. Together, we might expose those weaknesses and change the balance of power in this galaxy forever. As negotiations began, Lisa couldn't help but feel a mixture of hope and apprehension. Earth had taken its first steps onto a much larger stage, and there was no turning back. 6 months had passed since Earth first stood up to the Galactic Empire. In that time, humans had gone from lone rebels to the surprising leaders of the biggest resistance movement in Empire history. The Nebulans had introduced Earth to the Shadow Alliance, a loose group of 17 alien races from across the galaxy, all working secretly against Empire control. On the bridge of the Alliance ship Freedom, Admiral John Ellis, recently promoted for his important role in Earth's defense, stood beside representatives from a dozen alien races. The screen showed the approaching Empire Armada, 500 warships, the largest fleet ever gathered, all heading toward Earth's solar system. "They still have 3 times more ships than us," said Kral, the stone-skinned Valerian general whose people had provided heavy weapons to the Alliance. "Numbers aren't everything," replied Ambassador Zell of the Nebulans. "For the first time, the Empire faces enemies who understand their weaknesses and have prepared for them." Ellis nodded in agreement. "All Alliance ships move into defensive position Delta. Remember your training and trust your allies." As the Alliance fleet took position, Ellis turned to Communications Officer Ryan Porter. "Is the message ready?" "Yes, Admiral. We're set to send it on all Empire channels at once. It will reach every ship in their fleet, plus all Empire worlds within 50 light-years." Ellis took a deep breath. This was the moment everything had been building toward. "Start the message." The face of President Richard Owens appeared on the transmission, with representatives from all 17 Alliance species standing behind him. "Attention Empire fleet and citizens of the Galactic Empire," President Owens began. "For too long, the Empire has ruled through fear and control, treating free races as resources to be used and thrown away. Today, that changes." The camera moved, back to show all the Alliance representatives. "We, the United Free Races of the Galaxy, hereby announce the formation of the Galactic Alliance of Independent Worlds. We reject Empire control and take back our rightful freedom. We do not want war, but we will not submit to your rule any longer." As the President spoke, Alliance ships deployed the revolutionary technology that had been developed through the combined scientific knowledge of 17 species. Thousands of small drones spread out between the opposing fleets, each carrying a modified version of Earth's gravity disruptors. To the citizens of the Empire, we say, join us. The Empire has made you believe that their rule brings order and safety, but at the cost of your freedom and dignity. There is another way. On the Empire flagship, Emperor Drax himself watched the transmission with growing rage. "Ready all weapons. Destroy these insects." But as Empire gunners tried to lock onto Alliance ships, they found their targeting systems failing. The network of gravity disruptors had created a field of micro-distortions in space-time, making precise targeting nearly impossible. Meanwhile, specialized Alliance ships began broadcasting directly to the lower decks of Empire vessels where forced crews served as cannon fodder. The message was simple: leave now, join us, freedom awaits. "Empire citizens," continued President Owens, "for thousands of years you have been told that the races of the galaxy cannot govern themselves, that only Empire rule prevents chaos. Today, we prove that lie false. The Alliance has already created democratic governance, free trade, and mutual defense. We offer prosperity through working together, not through control." On dozens of Empire ships, crews from conquered worlds began to rise up against their officers. The carefully planned rebellion spread quickly through the fleet as suppressed races seized their chance for freedom. Admiral Ellis watched as the Empire formation began to fall apart. "It's working," he said quietly. On the screen, President Owens delivered the final part of the declaration. "To Emperor Drax and the Empire High Command, we give this ultimatum: remove your forces from Alliance space immediately. Recognize our independence and sovereignty. End your policies of conquest and control. If you choose war instead, know that the time of easy empire victories is over. Every planet you attack will resist. Every race you oppress will rebel. And the Alliance will stand with them all. The Empire has declared many things forbidden in its long history. Owens continued, his voice growing stronger. Today we declare something new. No Galactic Empire ships are allowed in Alliance space. Not now. Not ever again. As the transmission ended, Ellis turned to his tactical display. Nearly a quarter of the Empire fleet had already broken formation, with ships either leaving or, amazingly, turning their weapons on other Empire vessels. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Porter, "we're getting messages from 57 Empire ships asking to surrender and join us." Around the bridge, Alliance members cheered. Ambassador Xel approached Ellis, his compound eyes reflecting the tactical display. "This is just the beginning," the Nebulan said. "The Empire still controls most of the galaxy. The war ahead will be long and hard." Ellis nodded solemnly. "Yes, but for the first time in Empire history, it's a war they might lose." He held out his hand in the human gesture of partnership. "Together, we've changed the galaxy forever." The Nebulan wrapped his thin fingers around Ellis's hand. "Indeed, Admiral," and it began with a simple declaration: "No Empire ships allowed." As Ellis looked out at the stars, he thought about how far humanity had come, from a single, isolated planet to the spark for a galactic revolution. The road ahead would be challenging, but Earth had found its place in the universe, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals among the stars, fighting for a better galaxy. The next day, as the remains of the Empire fleet retreated, the 17 Alliance leaders met on the Freedom to plan their next steps. The meeting room was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes, some with scales, some with fur, some made of living crystal or plant matter. Yet they all shared one thing: a desire for freedom. "We must strike while the Empire is confused," said Rask, the Phyroxian commander, his cat-like eyes gleaming. "My scouts report that 3 border worlds are already in open rebellion after seeing our broadcast." "We should support those rebellions," agreed General White. "But we must be careful not to spread ourselves too thin." Dr. Lisa Clark, now serving as Earth's chief diplomat to the Alliance, spoke up. "What made our victory possible wasn't just our technology or even our surprise attack. It was that we offered an alternative to Empire rule. We need to show every world that joining the Alliance means a better life, not just a different master." "Ambassador." Xel nodded. "The doctor speaks wisely. For thousands of years, the Empire has taught that different races cannot live together in peace. Our alliance proves them wrong. That is our greatest weapon." Ellis listened as the discussion continued. Plans were made to establish trading routes between Alliance worlds, to create common defense systems, to share technology and resources. For the first time in galactic history, species that the Empire had kept apart for centuries were working together as equals. Later, standing alone on the observation deck, Ellis watched as ships from 17 different worlds moved in perfect formation around the Freedom, a living symbol of what they had created together. President Owens joined him, looking out at the fleet. "Do you know what I find most remarkable, Admiral?" "What's that, sir?" "The Empire has ruled for 5,000 years, controlling countless worlds and species. Yet in just 6 months, we've created something they never could." "And what's that?" Ellis asked. Owens smiled. "A galaxy where diversity is seen as strength, not weakness. Where different species work together by choice, not force. Where freedom is valued above order." As they watched, a small ship approached, the first diplomatic vessel from yet another world seeking to join the Alliance. "It started with Earth's declaration," Owens said. "But it will continue because of what we're building together." Ellis nodded. The freedom that began with Earth's defiance would spread across the stars, one world at a time. The end.